This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Now on Wednesday, in the Theory Wednesday videos that I'm kind of doing at the moment, if you have any music theory questions, by the way, get in touch, let me know what they are, and I'll probably end up doing a video on them. You can see the URL up there on screen, and the link is in the description to the website where you can get in touch and tell me what's on your mind theory-wise. And as I say, I may end up doing a video about them. Anyway, on Wednesday, I did a video about the three main flavours, if you like, of minor scales and keys: the natural minor, the harmonic minor, and the melodic minor. And I cooked up a little bit of a chord sequence that uses a mixture of those three minor keys. And I said today, Sunday, I would be, showing you how to play some lead guitar over that type of chord sequence. So that's what we're about to do. Here's the solo that I came up with. And here's a brief explanation of, how I was thinking as I was playing over it. Okay, then this is the chord sequence that we cooked up that uses a mixture of chords from the natural minor key, the harmonic minor key, and the melodic minor key. And we're going to look at, how you can make some informed note choices over the top of this chord sequence. But before we get to that, I think it's worth mentioning that, this chord sequence has a tonality of A minor. It resolves to the A minor chord. And that means that, well, let's have a listen first of all. This is what the chord sequence sounds like. It goes like this. You can hear that resolves beautifully to the A minor chord. It's, that's the chord that makes everything sound complete and at rest. And when that's the case, you can just use the A minor pentatonic, the pentatonic that matches the overall tonality. So, our old friend, the standard pentatonic box like that. And here's what that will sound like over the top of the chord sequence. So as you can hear, that works perfectly well, and that's always a good safety net to have. If you get lost, if you forget where you are, which chord you're playing over, just jump into the old familiar pentatonic box. But let's have a look at the chord sequence again. This time we'll take a look at the chord notes. There they are. And you can see that the A minor major 7th, the C augmented, the E7 and the G sharp diminished 7th all have a G sharp note in them. So we can add that into the minor pentatonic scale like this. And here's what adding that note in over some or all of the chords which contain that note will sound like. And you know, that just makes a little bit more of a difference to the sound. I think it begins to make the chords, the lead part rather, sound like it's more tailor-made to fit the chord sequence. Next up, we've got this D7 chord. If we look at the chord sequence again, and as you can see in the D7 chord, we've got an F sharp note, so we can add that in. And where will we find the F sharp? There. Okay, so there and there. If you can work out where a G is, if you know that the scale is basically going A, C, D, E, G, then F sharp is always easy to find. So this time let's add in the F sharp over the D7 chord as well as those G sharps that we discussed earlier. And once again, it's just making the the lead part sound like it's got a little bit more of a kind of relevance to the chords that are going on underneath. Next up, let's take a look at the chord sequence again, and once again we can see that the F chord, the D minor chord, the B minor 7 flat 5 and that G sharp diminished 7th chord all contain an F note. So we can add that in as well, and let's there's the pentatonic, and A, C, D, E, G. Well, if that's an E note there, that's going to be an F, and that's an E note there, and that's an F as well. So we can add those F notes in over some or all of the chords which contain the F note. It'll sound like this. And do you hear how it's arguably starting to sound a little bit more melodic each time we add a specific chord note in? There's one more to do. If we take a look at the chord sequence once again, we can see that the B minor 7 flat 5, the E7 and the G sharp diminished 7th all contain a B note. So let's add that in over some or all of the relevant chords. And there you have it. I meant to say that the B note is always, if you can locate the C note in the pentatonic scale, A, C, B is always 1 fret behind it. So there's a C note, there's a B note, and so on. So this is a great exercise in Giving yourself a reason to look for where notes are on the neck, which I maintain is the best way of learning the neck. Some random memorization exercise where you think, today I'm going to learn where all of the B notes are all over the neck. In my experience, that approach doesn't usually bear fruit. It's much better to have a reason to look for a note, because you're going to be using it in a solo over a specific chord, and then that usually has the effect of making that solo sound that little bit better. So you've put in a little bit of effort to find where the note is, and you're getting a reward as a result. For me, that is just the best way of learning the neck. It's certainly the way that I did it anyway. And that is the way that I tend to approach playing over this type of chord sequence. By adding in these additional notes from the underlying chords, what you're doing eventually, and sort of by default, is you end up getting the harmonic minor, the melodic minor, natural minor scales, under your fingers, without having to go and get the scale book off the shelf and start practicing new scale patterns and have to go through that whole rigmarole before you can actually use them. Just find where the notes are that you need and drop them into the core pentatonic, basically. Think of the pentatonic scale as being like a skeleton that you can hang other things on, like hanging baubles off a Christmas tree, if you like. So there you go. That's just some ideas on how I play over this type of chord sequence. Try them out for yourself and have some fun. And there is, of course, a full tab in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing the solo, the clip of me explaining what was going on there, and the jam track to play over as well. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address, and the link is in the description. It's only $3 a month, and you get access to all of these additional resources that go with these YouTube lessons. Thank you so much to everybody who's supporting me in that manner, or any of the other ways, all of which are linked down in the description. It is truly appreciated. I'm very humble and grateful to you all. Thank you so much. And that is pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video, found it useful, informative, and perhaps a little bit inspiring. And if you have, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not give me a like while you're at it? But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.